What do the panel think Bristol must do to attract more businesses and government departments out of London?
Bonnie.
I think Bristol, the Bristol region, and I include Bath in that, need to have a very, very coherent marketing effort. I think we need to do something around building the brand so that it's very clear what the brand values are and what's on offer here. I think when people come down here to look at what they can offer to employees, what's available, and the skill levels here, I think they're surprised and impressed. I'm pleased they're impressed, but I don't think they should be surprised because we have one of the highest concentrations of graduates in this region, and I don't think people realize that. So I know that LEP has been doing some work and benchmarking other cities in the UK to try and see what we should be doing to market it better. But I hope we will chart our own path because I think we have some unique things to offer here. But in doing that, I hope that we'll take some professional advice and really join up both the marketing effort and the branding of both the city and the larger region in terms of what we have to offer.
And you were able to show ministers around recently. Did that message fall on deaf ears or receptive ears?
No, it fell on receptive ears. I think we had 9 ministers down at the end of February for a large advanced manufacturing conference. And some ministers had been down, Secretary of State Vince Cable had been down several times to see the National Composite Center, but other ministers hadn't. And I think they were impressed, but again, surprised. They didn't realize about the concentration of silicon chip design here, that we're second outside Silicon Valley. There are a number of other strengths in the region that they just simply weren't aware of. And again, you know, that's us. We should be promoting that. We're unusual as a city region because we do have so many strong sectors. We're not just dependent on one, and we should be promoting those. And we should be promoting what happens under those sectors because of the range of other technologies that have come up to support those sectors, whether it's aerospace, whether it's clean tech, whether it's silicon chip design, or whether it's creative and digital. And we just have so much to talk about as a region that I think every one of us need to be ambassadors, and then I think we also need our city councils and the LEP to put together a very, very strong, aggressive message and a marketing campaign.
And the second half of the question was around government departments. Did Vince Cable say he would look to move civil servants out of Whitehall into Bristol and surrounding areas?
He did not say that, but it is actually every time a government department looks at changing what they do with their space, they are required to look at out-of-town environments. And that has been a long-standing requirement, and I think it's something that we should be in marketing Bristol to every single department because they will be constantly reevaluating their space and property needs. I think for people who relocated out of London here, it would be very tough to get them back because of the lifestyle choices they have. So again, I think it's us, but I also think it's the LEP and the local councils. We need to have a joined up marketing effort.
Okay, thank you. John.
I think really it's about continuing to do what's been done to date in terms of attracting business and government to London. But again, ultimately, it's driven by occupier demand, whatever we do. We're a London-based investor. We've invested and developed in Bristol over a number of years, and we're confident in Bristol, both in terms of what we've done to date and what we expect to do next. And I think if you look at Bristol in the wider context of the UK, as a regional, it's got everything that it needs, excuse me, in place. Good infrastructure, good, well-educated and stable workforce. And also, I think it's a USP in Bristol. It's very much behind the green agenda and the green credentials. And what a lot of occupiers are looking for, and we do see this perhaps more in the private sector than the public sector, is good quality, sustainable buildings that are ultimately very efficient. And obviously, the issue to bear in mind there is that we need to continue to deliver good buildings that are well located to an acceptable standard to make sure that if we're going to pull an occupier out of London, where those buildings are prevalent, that the same specification or level of quality is available in the regions where fundamentally it's just a damn sight cheaper to be located. I think in terms of quality of life, as you said, people do tend to move out of London for that enhanced quality of life. And I think they're all positive things that will allow business users and occupiers to continue to focus on places like Bristol. You know, one thing about Bristol in particular, if you compare it with a lot of the regions, is that the actual availability of space, brand new space, is relatively modest compared to some of the other sub-centres such as a Leeds and a Manchester. So obviously there's a tightening of availability. And I think what is very important for Bristol is the next step in terms of development. I do think we're very close to some form of speculative development. I don't think it's immediate. I think a few more deals will see somebody, whoever that may be, it may be us, but somebody will take a step towards putting their money where their mouth is, if you like, and starting to build. So I think really the key is making sure that what's being done today is carried forward, and again, that's a lot of coordination with the local authority, but also that the development activity that does take place is to a suitable standard that will allow these businesses to move in.
And is that lack of development currently an obstacle to Bristol growing its property sector and its economy?
No, I don't think it is, because you're not at a stage where there isn't any space. There is good space available. We have a building, Temple Back, where there's 70,000 square feet available. Bridgewater House, obviously, just coming to the market. There are two good quality buildings there, in addition to other Grade A space, where those type of occupiers that we're talking about attracting in can be accommodated successfully in quality buildings. I think the biggest issue, of course, is if you get a 200,000 square foot requirement, well, where's it going to go? But, you know, let's face it, if that's coming on stream, then there's an opportunity for a number of people to develop on a pre-let basis. So I don't think it's stopping the businesses moving in, because we do see, as I'm sure a lot of you do, that there are various inquiries in the market, both from within Bristol and out of Bristol, not necessarily London, but there are still occupiers looking in Bristol. So I don't think it's an obstacle to dragging the businesses through. The main aim is to make sure that we carry on delivering space that can be occupied by these people.
Okay, and Paddy, it's about good buildings, it's about marketing, is it about more than that?
I think it's been summarised perfectly by both Bonnie and John. You do need the right accommodation. I think Bonnie touched on something. It's actually Bristol is continually ranked as the #1 location people wish to relocate to. It's got two fantastic universities. It's got the highest retention of students in the UK from people who come here. It's got a great place to live. We all know that. People don't leave because we enjoy it, and yet we do not promote Bristol. If you go to any of the shindigs in south of France, you'll see every other city but Bristol. I'm saying Bristol should go there, but we don't. I think as a region, we are naturally understated. It's one of the endearing things about the southwest and Bristol. People don't like to shout about their successes, but as a city, I think we need to do that, and we don't at all, and the City Council never have. We rest on our laurels with all the fantastic attributes that we have, and I think we do need to promote ourselves far more aggressively than in the past we have done.